Hey guys, it's Kelly here again and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another book related video. Today I'm going to be talking all about audiobooks and my personal favorites, at least for the time being. So I have 6 written down, and these are not necessarily my favorite books of all time, but more like I feel like the audiobooks did such a fantastic job that they are worth the listen. I will not be able to remember all of the author information and the narrator information and say it in the video, so I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys have all of the information you need in order to know which narrator I'm talking about. So the first book is not going to be anything completely original. I'm sure a lot of people on YouTube have spoken about it, but it is Daisy Jones and the Six. Now, what makes this uniquely great for an audiobook is the book format. I feel like this book was written purely for the idea of it being an audiobook, and I think that's actually great. It tells the story of Daisy Jones, who is an aspiring singer in the 60s, and she is basically a party girl. During that time, I guess, who isn't? She gets coupled up with a band called the Six, who are basically a rising star at the moment on the scene, and her vocals, her lyrics really work well with their songs and their vocals and their lyrics. So their manager puts them together and basically tells the story of the band and each member of the band and Daisy Jones and how their life is going, how their music is flowing. The reason why I love this as an audiobook so much is because there's a full cast of actors who play all the different roles. So each time the new character starts talking, you know that this is his perspective, you know which character it is. The whole book is made as interviews and questions from the interviewer and answers from all the different members, and I think it's a very unique book in terms of the way it's written, but it is also a unique audiobook experience, and I definitely recommend it. If you want to read the book, I would recommend listening to the audiobook more than I would the actual physical book, just because it makes you immersed in the whole universe and the whole story 10 times more than the book and the interviews will. Also, there's snippets of their songs, like their real band, there's music, there's actually them singing the songs, which is really great, and I feel like it brings the atmosphere of the whole idea of the book at the front. The second book that I have is the first book in a very long fantasy series, and it is the series The Wheel of Time, and the first book, The Eye of the World. This is a great book and it's a great series. I have read only 2 so far, but I do plan on continuing. The Eye of the World was actually the first book I ever listened to as an audiobook, and I remember I didn't know what to expect, but I remember just being completely thrown into the book with this narrator, and I think he does such a great job voicing all of the characters. He makes them just feel alive, and while you're listening to their stories, it definitely makes a difference that you're actually listening to the characters, and he gives them very specific, I guess, characteristics, and you can just tell when he starts talking. Even if he doesn't do his voices, you can still tell which character he's talking about. So The Eye of the World and the whole series is a very high fantasy. There are these gigantic tomes of books, and it is a very broad universe, so I decided to listen to it as an audiobook so I can well, I'm not gonna sit down and read 14 books that are this big, so I thought that going the audiobook way would make more sense, at least for me. And I'm glad I did, because the narrator really is great. He does a fantastic job, and he got me hooked on this entire universe just with his narration. So I definitely would recommend. The next one I have is We Are Legion, We Are Bob, and this one is a very specific one. Not everybody is going to love this book. It is a sci-fi book with a humorous twist, and it tells the story of our character Bob, who signs up for a program because he needs some extra cash, and this program basically means that his mind gets frozen, and if technology develops enough in the future, his mind will get unfrozen, and he will be able to continue his life in the future, something like that. But the experiment actually turns out that his consciousness has been downloaded and uploaded to a computer. So he is basically now a computer. And this book as a narration was really great. And I'm saying this because it had some humorous elements to it, and the voice actor who does Bob actually is able to capture those humorous little notes and make you enjoy the book even more and even laugh out loud at times. He even has moments where he turns his voice a bit more robotic because, as I said, Bob is an AI now, so he has these moments where he turns his voice robotic, and I think he does them so well. He also has some different accents because Bob is talking to different humans who have a different background, and he makes his accents, and I think he does them well. I am no expert on accents, and English is not my first language, so some of those might bother some people, but I personally really enjoyed them, and it made the audiobook experience all the more fulfillful. That is not a word. Fulfilling. The next one is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and this is one of those books that I just really love the voice actor. That's the reason why I'm recommending it, and that is the reason why it's in my top 6 audiobooks. I absolutely love the voice actor. I think he does a fantastic job in portraying Daryl from Red Rising, and he's basically, I think, the reason I love the book so much. I love the accents he does. I love the way he portrays the character before and after, because it makes a difference, and he just does it so well. And he has, I think, like a Scottish or an Irish accent that I absolutely love. That's one of my favorite accents. I know some people like British accents, and I like the Irish, so I absolutely love the accent that he has, and it just brings something extra to the narration. Red Rising is a science fiction novel series, actually, that is about Darrow, who is born in a very low caste of society. He is a miner on Mars, and he believes that Mars is actually uninhabitable. The higher ups and the higher colors, because he is a rusty red, and there's a different hierarchy in colors, so he's the lowest, and the higher ups have lied to him and all of the Reds and have told them that except Earth, no other planet is inhabitable, which is a lie. He discovers that early on in the book, and he tries to infiltrate the gold and the elites and kind of bring them down from the inside out. I absolutely love the book. I love the narrator, and I would definitely recommend even going the audiobook way for this one. My next favorite audiobook is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, and I absolutely love the narrator for this book. I have written down all of the different books that she's narrated on my audiobook app, and I am definitely going to listen through them because I think she's amazing. She brings so much to the table, and she just gets you submersed in the entire atmosphere of the book, and I feel like Ace of Shades in particular is very big on atmosphere. It's very important for the whole feel of the book, and that is why the narrator is just amazing, does such an amazing job, and if you are interested in reading this book, I definitely recommend her. Ace of Shades tells the story of N, who is a very prim and proper lady who grew up a little bit outside of town with her adoptive mother, and one day her adoptive mother disappears. So Anne travels to the city of Sin in hopes that she will find her and bring her back, and that is when she gets involved in some suspicious activity. This book has a very specific world and a very atmospheric world building, and there's also a lot of card games, a very intricate and unique magic system. So it's definitely something that's probably not going to be for everybody. I've heard some mixed opinions about it, but I absolutely love the book, and I love the audiobook of it, and I definitely recommend it. And my last favorite audiobook is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. And this is a not your everyday self-help book. It is a very unique read. Again, this is one of those where I feel like the narrator brought something more unique to the table and made the book and the experience of listening to the book something more than it would be if you just read it. It's nothing specific in this case that he did or said, it's just the narrator and how he reads the book, and I think he does it very well, and he makes the book that much more enjoyable. So that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you decide to listen to one or more of these audiobooks, do let me know what you guys think, and if you're already acquainted with some of the narrators that I mentioned, I would love to hear your opinions about them in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe if you like what you see and would like to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!